As you advance forwards into the city, making sure that everyone was safe, or at the very least dealing with the storm at hand, a mission takes place upon you. Exploring around and looking about, you were given a mission to perhaps, well, you were given two missions. One is to help the town as best you could and prevent as much casualties as possible. And two, if at all possible, to see and uh, delve into the information of what lies inside any of these storms. While you're not exactly sure what lies inside, Cerberus managed to see something. While not exactly sure what it was, it almost seemed similar to the shell that the Cloud Dragon came out of, but a far more massive scale. Not really deciding to go further in to face more danger, they had decided to slip off of the carpet that they were currently on and allow the dragon to carry it forwards. Hitting what appeared to be a bow tower, they slid down as best they could, but still took a good amount of damage. While they slid down, they saw two individuals slowly coming into town. They were taking their time, so you wasn't exactly sure if they were enemy or not, but they were coming from the storm, which is the problem. In the meanwhile, the rest of the gang managed to take down these weird piranha creatures, but more like a dog than anything else, but far more disgusting. Venturing forth, it didn't take long for one of you to almost go down immediately, and for the rest to decide not to do that. Kythal made sure that his hound gave them disadvantage, and Tolwyn decided to beef himself up and turn into a dire wolf. With those plays at hand, and the one, mainly Talon, getting beat up, decided to move back to go with long range. Cerberus managed to tell you three, that two enemies were coming in, or two strangers at the very least, and you prepared yourselves as quickly as possible. It turned out that they were in fact enemies, but you weren't exactly sure what they came here for. They came here to collect something, but they did not make mention of what it was. And when Cerberus decided... how should I phrase this? You didn't make fun of them, but you didn't make a good impression. I just can't think of the word. Oh well. Berating them is the closest one I can think of. They decided to just move forwards with their plan without much incident and advance the attack. You guys set up spells to slow them down. Before they can make a turn, many of you survived that onslaught. The woman herself with red hair and a half mask went down first, but it took a while for her to go down. While you weren't exactly sure what her blade can do, with the man himself, he could take more hits, but his AC was maybe lower. But he swung in, and it swung in hard. Strange prismatic stars shone about from his blade and hit you regardless of any impending AC you have. But it seemed after a while that completely died out. They managed to take Tolwyn down back to his normal state, but thankfully enough, he could do this twice a day. So, back to a direwolf he turned. And with the good... Honestly, it probably helped a lot. With that massive buffer, the team was, after a while, able to take him down in turn as well. Now with those two down, and for some reason the storm rising in the sky, one thing is very certain. Whatever the Cloud Dragon is doing, it clearly had a purpose, clearly had a reason of why it likely took the... blanking on the word for rug.
Carpet.
Carpet, thank you. So, who knows what might happen to that. But the storm is now going quite literally over your heads. However, what you decide to do now is entirely up to you. You're not exactly sure if the threat is in danger. If you're not exactly sure if the threat to your lives is still there, or if it poses a danger still. The clouds, the storm, are being lifted up and moved around the town, but you don't know what exactly is going on, and you don't know if there's any stragglers about. So you do have time to catch up and breathe, at least for a little bit. Standing before you now are about a couple of dead bodies, 2 specific hounds of flesh and entrails, 1 strange creature made out of vegetation itself, a woman with a ornate black blade, and a man with a face mask and a ornate Starry Night sky blade. You don't exactly know what those things are, but a few of you could tell that they wore strange armor underneath their coats as well. What are you doing?
Loot their bodies.
Okay. I'm gonna roll something. Okay, Cerberus, are you just grabbing what you can find, or are you investigating?
I guess I'll investigate it.
Alright, roll me investigation. Wow, my English was bad there. Are you just grabbing what you can see, not what you can find? With a 10, you grab the blade, you grab his cloak. You see that the armor underneath seems to be almost like a scale mail, but not exact. It's not dragon. You can clearly tell that for sure. But the strange ornate structure of it can tell it belonged to a beast formerly. This type of armor doesn't seem like store-bought. Rather, it was built specifically for them, or they had a commission. If you find a good enough blacksmith, they might be able to tell you what this armor can do, or if it's better than the current armor you possess. But it is strange and very different from what you understand it is. Kaithal might be able to identify it better, but it's weird. Besides that, though, the other items you find are 50 pieces of gold, 10 silver, and 5 copper. You find the blade, that much is for sure. You can identify that later if you decide to, or you can do it now. You find 2 short swords, and you find 1 health potion. I'm assuming you guys are doing this to the woman in the meantime as well?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Tolwyn will help as much as he can, but he's going to stay in direwolf form until he's sure everything is safe.
Alright. With a woman in tow, you do manage to grab what she has on her. As you remove the mask itself, are you guys moving the mask? I should probably not tell you if you do
Yes.
or not. Okay. You remove the mask, and underneath it seems to have a strange brim structure to it. Her jawline seems almost cracked. It's there. She's not exactly not pretty, but she's not exactly a model. You can tell that there was an abrasive structure line that caused some damage there that is healing or had healed, but healed the wrong way. You know there's something off about the face itself. She does appear to be human, but you're not sure completely if it's an accident and it healed this way, or if she's more than meets the eye. No, she's not a transformer. But you remove the half mask, the black cloak herself, with red trim. Underneath you find, once again, that strange armor set, but hers is different. Hers almost seems... his kind of looked like stone. Hers kind of looks like snake skin. Again, ornate, can't tell what it does. You might want to identify it or have an investigation check or something like that. But you get it. Underneath, it's simple clothes, unless you want to steal that too. Same with a man. Underneath, you also find the black dagger, 2 short swords, a hand crossbow, 30 bolts, what appears to be a strange blue vial, and that's it.
Kyathal would like to take a look at the guy's armor and see if he can figure anything out with it.
All right, go ahead and roll for me
And then-
investigation.
and then I'll go for.
Looking at the armor of the man, I'm assuming man or woman. You can decide.
Man first, and then I was gonna check the woman.
Examining the man's armor, you can tell that it is ornate, it is unique, it is strange. You've never seen this type of structure before. Yes, you've seen monsters being used, skinned, and purposed for their attributes and abilities. Often than not, an alchemist is used to help ingrain that ability into the armor set. It seems to have that following structure. You just can't tell what exactly it can do. Maybe identify could help, but right now, over this clear line of your own knowledge, it seems a little more advanced than you would like. You deal with mechanics rather than mechanics and biology.
I think we should wait until we're a bit more out of danger
Okay.
before we start fiddling.
That's probably a good idea.
By the way, Tolwyn, I've heard that certain people DM. Is the spell Speak with Dead available in your world?
Yeah? I
Okay.
don't know why it wouldn't be.
It's just potentially, for whatever background reasons that we don't know, it may not be available. Tolwyn, I heard that there are some people who are capable of casting spells or abilities that allow someone to speak with those that have passed. Are you able to do that, or is that something you can do in the future?
One sec. I'll check.
You say in wolf form.
You could just nod.
Whoa.
Yeah. I have to check. I don't remember if that spell is available to me.
You can check and nod your head yes or you're on your head no. It's fine. It's in the moment. Your character would probably know.
If
It is. I'll nod no.
all right, then I don't think I'll get that ability either. I was thinking that we could have taken their heads with us so we could use Speak with Dead at a later date, but apparently that's not going to be viable. That's unfortunate. What should we do with their bodies then? Burn them here or take them elsewhere?
I would say outside of the city if possible.
Well,
Just
before we do
outside
that,
the
should we look around and see who else we can help?
gate. Yes, absolutely.
As you look around yourselves, looking towards the people that are currently being attacked, you absorb yourself in the current situation at hand. You looked at the people, looked at the bodies, removed the mask. Underneath the man's mask, it's similar to the woman. However, this man is a tiefling with almost albino-like skin. However, his almost where the indent, where the eye would be, it seems as if it's more or less swollen. It's hard to tell exactly what's being perceived. Like the woman, you can tell that maybe something was damaged there and healed improperly, or it seems off. But you can't exactly get details. Maybe if one of you has proficiency in medicine, you might be able to gamble, but you know something's off.
No, I do not.
No, not proficiency.
No.
Okay. Well, with that amount of information being drained and looked at, you look around you, seeing is there anyone we need to help? Anyone that survived this? You see people around you are currently dead. The townsfolk that managed to come in to try to help and assist are now on the ground dead. The 5 guards that basically keep the town safe as much as possible. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of work for the town guards, so no one really chooses it. 3 of the 5 are dead on the ground. The town guard captain survived along with one of her lieutenants or someone in her force. But clearly, the townsfolk did not survive, or at least the ones that were brave enough to help. And, well, the 5 guards that came in to buffer the incident, now only 2 remain. You can see them in the distance. I just brought them closer. Oops, wrong layer. Right there. They're not that far away. So if you want to interact with them, you can, but everyone else seems to have died. The amount of time you took is representative of how much had happened against you. As well, you did take your time in investigating the bodies. You did take your time in investigating the armor.
I kind of thought that the fighting and everything was already dealt with when we did that.
Dealt with in the area that you were in, yes. But I did make mention that you were not the only ones fighting. However,
Oh well.
the creatures around you are moving along the path of the storm. Or at least the creatures you can see. While they were able to keep most of the damage to a minimum, unfortunately a lot of them did perish. Maybe one or two civilians with no formal training survived, but not that many. That being said, unfortunately, this combat is not over. They would target the largest creature, or at least the one considered the most dangerous. Towen, what's your AC?
Double check, because it's different as a direwolf.
I think it was 14, but I am not sure.
Oh yeah. Yes, 14.
Okay. Looking around and exploring to seeing what happens. In the brief instant of moment in time, you can tell that something is in the corner of your eye. You look around you and you see that some shadowy form on top of a building. Then you see another and another. And in that it's 3 shots get barreled through and attempt to hit you.
Well, that's 3 successes.
Yep, that's 3d6. Let's see, it's 1d6 for each arrow. The modifier is +4, so +12. Immediately, they generally do have it, but I don't want to do this because it's mean.
You can do whatever you want.
They have sneak attack, technically.
Well, then they should use it.
2d6 per person. That's 6d6. Thankfully enough, I rolled terribly.
Very terribly. So let's see, that was 35 damage.
35 total, yes.
Oops.
And he died.
So 53 minus 35. 18, so I am no longer a wolf.
In the immediate afterthought of looking around you, seeing the dead bodies, Tolwyn, you look around as you are the tallest technically now. You see 3 individuals just shoot straight at you. In that moment in time, you know the fight isn't over. And you know, well, while most of the brigade in the storm is going away, there is still leftover members. Go ahead and roll a turn order.
Alright, and I'm back down to being a medium-sized creature.
Well, thankfully enough, they no longer have a sneak attack round. Well, not sneak attack round, but that gross round where you got hit pretty hard.
That's okay. The wolf form still absorbed most of that damage.
Speaking of getting absorbed damage so you survived to at least survive a little bit more, Tolwyn, it is your turn.
Alright. Can you resize my token back down to medium?
I could, and I will.
Yeah. I'm not a wolf anymore, unfortunately. So So, Tolwyn, I guess we'll call out assassins. And I'll cast. What does it look like they're wearing?
As you look upon them, you can tell that they have weird protruding arms. It seems like armor, but it doesn't look like armor. It almost represents bone being overlapped by the very skin itself and pitch black. Two of the hands do seem to be hands, but they are wirily thin, and you can clearly see the bone underneath. And the secondary protruding armaments do seem like hands, but almost like it's part of the armor set. Still looks like bone, but it is far more threatening and menacing.
Okay.
They do seem to have mass on them, but like their armor, it's like bone has been overlapped by their very body.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna cast Produce Flame on this one over here.
All right.
Only an 8 to hit, so I'm assuming that misses because I only rolled a 2.
Unfortunately, that does miss.
Okay. And I am going to move like below the edge of this roof here.
All right. The roof is roughly 15 feet tall, so it's enough that you're blocked, but you know you didn't go into stealth, so he knows and is aware of where you are.
Yeah.
But you're no longer probably the biggest threat.
Yeah.
Speaking
Question.
of potential, yes.
Is the 3 enemies 30 feet away from me?
You can use your ruler tool, but let's find out. One is 20, one is 20, one is 25.
I wasn't certain if height was an issue here.
Let's not worry about actual Pythagoras theorem situation.
Very well, that was my question.
Okay. Speaking of potential danger, Talon. Fox, you're muted, by the way.
Charles kind of being quiet now.
Oh, yeah.
I will Blade Song, I guess. Wait, how long has it been since? I'm sorry, I forgot. It's been like a few minutes since we killed those other things, right?
It hasn't been enough time for Tolwyn to overlap his dog form. Because I wanted to be mean, but I didn't want to be that mean. So it's been like less than a minute, I'm going to say. I think... How long does that transformation last?
Right.
An hour.
Oh, then it's been like 10 minutes.
I'll use my Blade Song again, and then my bonus action. And let's see, I see 3 assassins.
3 individuals on
Right.
the roof clearly pinning you down.
Okay. I will. 3 of them, huh?
At least 3 you can see.
Oh. I have 2 first soul spells left. Don't really want to use Fair Fire on them again, but it might work. Do they look like they're wielding heavy weapons and armor, or they look like they're moving around quickly?
They seem to be moving around quickly. They all have hand crossbows. They do have what appears to be a short sword apiece, and some strange black bag you can't see inside. What was that?
Humanoid.
They are classified as humanoid, yes.
Well, let's see how lucky we are. The one that the Severus is closest to, we best to get him. I will cast that on that one there. I will cast Hold Person.
Okay. Let's see. Spell save DC is 13 to beat. That is a wisdom save. These beings are technically not wise, so they have no bonus. That's a 13.
Damn it. Okay, well, That would be my turn, and I will have my owl. I'll still have my owl help Severus attack that guy over there, I guess. And I hope, I guess. Can I have it follow Severus? I guess I have to designate who it's helping. I don't know.
Oops.
I don't know. Anyway,
Attacks with
but
flame.
I'm gonna try and have it help Severus, so then I will move to the other side of the puppy and Kyathal here. And that is my last second level spell. Damn. Oh well. No risk, no reward, I guess. Could have been nasty. Auto
Enem-
crits.
The enemy agent up above notices your attack structure, looks at the patterns around you, does seem to indicate that Tolwyn is no longer a threat as he does not look around him. So, with the enemies in tow, they look towards Kyathal. No. To them, it would be the most imposing, which would be either Cerberus or Talon. Evens odds. It is Cerberus. So, the one to the northwest takes aim and fire. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna have him do this because it makes sense. With a ring shot, it shoots directly towards you. With any luck, they hit because it'd be embarrassing if they didn't. Yeah, makes sense. With a string shot, it shoots directly at you. The attack goes in the air for a split second, breaks apart into various sets of arrows, and then just hits the ground in front of you. You take no damage. Kaizo.
Right, Kyathal is going to run to about here. And I am going to fire crossbow at this guy here.
Don't you have your bow?
Yeah. Or what do you mean? Just the hand crossbow I got.
The magical bow. Didn't you get the
No,
magical?
I never.
Nope,
picked
never
it
got
up.
it.
No.
Never mind.
Unfortunately, 10 does not hit, and 14 also misses as well.
Right. I'm going to have. Oops. Can you have my wolf just come over? Actually, no, never mind. I'm gonna have him stay where he was. And that'll be the end of my turn.
All right. As you take aim towards the creature around you, you can tell that this is a dangerous situation. However, it becomes more dangerous as it begins to advance their turn. Looking around, they look directly towards enemy agents, see who's the most threatening. They can tell that one of them already launched their attack towards Cerberus, so that one's covered, but they clearly missed. So, they will go for another potential target. Let's see if you're within range. Yep, yeah, you are. And the cloudburst of energy, they begin to ring out the bow. The bow's arrow, now you can see, almost seems like a bow in itself. As they shoot it out, it goes directly towards Talon. However, for some reason, I've been rolling terribly after the sneak attack. So, luckily enough, it just simply hits near you and doesn't do a thing. Cerberus.
So, you want to know what my channel divinity is? Alright. I will take my sword, I'll put it in both of my hands, and I'll raise it up into the sky. And with the roar, I will use my channel divinity with... Alright, all enemies within 30 feet of me of my choosing, and any allies of my choosing, which just so happens to be all three of these motherfuckers, are going to take 2d10 worth of force damage. And all allies that I choose within 30 feet of me will receive that same amount of damage as temporary health.
Alright then.
Well, damn.
So 17 damage on those guys.
Cool.
And
What save
17
do I have
temp.
to do?
There isn't. This is a channel divinity.
Okay.
I can't do it again today.
There should still be a save. Like it should be like a
Huh?
con save, wisdom save of some kind. I would double check that. There's
Uh,
usually a save.
The page never said anything about it. But I'll look it up again. Do you wish me to do it now or later, DM?
Each creature within 10 feet must succeed a saving throw. Okay, so the DC is based on if they're next to you. Huh? That's weird, but the higher level you get, the less overpowered it becomes. Makes relative sense. But, whatever. It's 17 is not enough to kill them anyways. Bringing in the attack around you, a divine energy just burst out from the epicenter of Cerberus. The enemies in tow do get hit, but they don't go down. However, the rest of you get... I'm assuming you're targeting everyone here?
Yes.
The rest of you then get healed, and then expanded beyond that point for 17 temporary hit points.
I will then take my full movement to get right over here. I assume this guy's on the ground floor?
No, they're still on the roof. It's just
Then
there's
I'll try.
no physical roof there. Also, according to your post, it says they just heal, so it's not temporary.
I thought it was temp HP. Oh, sorry. It is regular heal. My apologies. In my mind, I must have thought of it being temp. Sorry, you just regained 17 HP, everyone. Sorry about that.
It's still good. It's just if you're already
So
at that point, you don't
I'm
heal beyond that.
So, yeah.
I like
You
to
healed
move.
me, so that's nice.
I like to move up as close to this guy as I can get with my full movement.
Roof is 15 feet tall, so no, this is a second-story roof structure. Be 20 feet high. So you're like
And I guess
20
I can't.
feet. You're like, how tall is Cerberus?
6 feet.
Then you're like maybe 13 feet away from him.
Then I guess I have to wait until my following turn then. That's fine.
Okay. Speaking of following turn, the enemy agent looks around, sees the potential threat. It's going to attack your bird. Taking out the short sword, he swings out and dashes straight through your bird. I'm assuming 20 hits him.
Bird?
Yeah.
It has flyby, so it can't be targeted. Like as it like goes to do the help action, flyby means it can't be targeted. Like it can't, as it's like it's technically not next to him. I don't know how it works out, but like it makes it so it can't be targeted.
All right. Can you show me where that is?
Sure. I'll get it.
Because I believe you. I just never heard of that.
It's that when it comes up to use the help action and flies away, it doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity.
Yeah. So then like it fly. I would have it fly away then. I guess because it flies how far? 60 feet. Yeah, if I can fly it 60 feet away, I guess. Like I just leave it there because I'm lazy. I guess I could target it if it can fire something at 60 feet at it.
No, it was going to use its bladed weapon. And it's a bird, so I can see it moving. But
Yeah, it just like flies by, like and goes like away, and then kind of swoops back in.
yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, but yeah, it can be targeted though. Actually, yeah. Sorry, flyby just means you can't op attack it. Yeah, sorry. Thank you for refreshing our memory there.
Yeah, okay. Does 20 hit then?
For the bird, yes.
Okay. That is 1d8 plus modifier. 13 points of damage.
You're still trying to shoot him from far away.
Oh,
Like, whatever.
you moved him?
Well, I mean, like I just left him there because I'm lazy because I don't want to keep going and moving him around. But like He doesn't usually just stay right there. He moves away. But you can kill him if you want. He can die. He can die. I'll summon him later. But yeah, he's dead then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make sure to move him in the future. Yeah, because I don't leave him there. He moves away like so he doesn't get killed.
I
That's
get that.
the idea.
It's just I don't
Yeah,
know if
it's
it's
all
able
good.
to move outside of its own turn order, which is your turn.
No, like yeah, no, I was trying to tell it to give the help action. So like technically, I guess wherever it was, it would wait until the person or the thing is designated. But I'll just like I said, don't worry about it. I'll make sure next time I am more careful.
It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Stabbing in, pierces through, and turns it into dust. Thankfully enough, it can be resummoned, and it technically didn't die. It got stabbed. Why would there be a saving? Oh, you're going back to the topic at hand. Yeah. Okay. Again, pretty strong for low level, but it'll get weaker since you can only do 2d8, 2d10. But that's neither here or there. Stabbing into the creature, it looks around and it looks underneath itself, and with a strange, almost cracking sound of its head, gazes upon Cerberus. At the end of their round, someone begins to rush forwards. They go onto the roof, and that's their turn. Their subordinate is going to see if anyone else in town is safe or alive. Tolwyn.
All right. Is there any check needed to climb up onto this roof I'm next to?
How are you trying to climb up?
Like literally just hand over foot, like climb the side of the building.
That sounds like a athletics to me.
Okay.
You won't lose anything if you pass, but you still have to pass.
I might not. I'm not very strong. Only got a 3.
You begin to grip the edge of the area. You grab onto it, but who knows what this is, brick and mortar regardless. You grab onto the wall and it breaks within your hands. Maybe you're putting a little too much strength, or maybe this is a cheap house.
Maybe Tolwyn needs to lay off the breakfast bacon.
You didn't lose anything, you just can't climb up this turn.
Okay. I'll just use Produce Flame on this guy across the street from me.
Alright.
With only a 13 to hit. Probably doesn't.
Shooting out your Produce Flame, you aim directly towards the creature. It does launch and goes over Cerberus' head, but unfortunately it goes over its head as well.
Yep. Good turn.
Any movement?
No, I'm going to stay where I am.
Alright. Talon.
Well, how's this guy looking over here at all? Is he looking like he's hurt at all?
Each one was hurt for 17 points of damage, and they don't look bloodied or hurt, or at least you don't see them like that. It's possible you may never see these creatures, humanoids, being that way, but they don't look as if they're physically in pain.
Let's see. Well, you murdered my owl, you bastard. I will. Try to use it. Yeah, why not? Try it on this other. Try and keep helping out. No, I'm trying to kill him. Never mind. I'll move up here and.
Remember, he's on the roof. If you want to attack him, you're. How much movement do you have left?
I have. Well, I was here. I see. I have 40 feet of movement. So I'm 25, and then
You just need to climb up 13 feet. So athletics.
For acrobatics, can I run and since I'm dancing around, can I like kind of parkour up or here I go this way, like if I went
Yeah,
this
you
way
use the
instead,
well to jump
like
in
jump.
and try to flip. Yeah.
like jump off here and jump off, like hop onto the roof. Ah!
Well, that'd be using more
Uh,
movement than you have. You use the well to jump. Go ahead and
Sure,
roll
sure,
acrobatics.
Yeah. Here we go. Acrobatics. I have advantage. Here we go. Do something with advantage. Doesn't help.
I- Using your momentum and the height difference of the well, you grab on, break the well underneath you. Someone has to repair that later on, but with enough force, you do a flip, but not two, unfortunately, and do land on the roof next to them.
Does a 16 hit?
Dun, dun,
16 hit?
Oh yeah. I was just figuring something out. Both of those hit.
Boom. Alright. There's that. And then, yeah, that was my action, bonus action, and yeah, that's about it. So, standing there.
Grabbing your
Bye.
blade, you sink it in, and it sinks in well, but it's hard to truly get something in. I don't know why it showed fire again. But it carves into the weird armor set, and it does not, as you rake it out of it, it does not show blood, flesh, or bone. Well, maybe a little bone, but no flesh or blood. But you did carve into it. Anything else? I think that's it, though.
Nope, I'm good. I kind of on spells, so I'm trying to hopefully keep my last two spells for emergency here, but we'll see.
Alright, Tolwyn has actively attacked the people on the roof. It'll target you. +7. Going about, it does bring out its strange bone-like attack, but for some reason, after the initial strike, it goes, shoots, hits in front of you, and that's it for its turn. Kaito.
All right. I will run next to Tolwyn. I will grab him by the shoulder, and being an Eladrin of Spring, my face step can teleport someone else instead of me 30 feet. So I will teleport him to the top of this roof right here.
Alright. Use your bonus action
What's
and... Alright, you use
Yes,
your bonus action, grab onto Tolwyn, wink or nudge him. It looks like you're about to throw him up, and you do so with magic.
Just kick him right in the ass. Get up there.
And then, at the same time, I will fire at this one here with my crossbow.
Alright, which one?
I'm sorry, the one over by Reese. Yeah,
Okay.
that one.
Grabbing your crossbow, you sink it out and shoot straight for it. It aims, pierces into its flesh, and you can tell you did damage. However, it doesn't turn towards you. It's still looking at Tolwyn. So the amount of damage it took was not enough to kill it, but it's also not enough to distract it. It's as if it sunk in and it felt no pain or did not care.
Interesting. Okay. That is the end of my turn.
Alright. Now that Tolwyn's next to them, it will change course of action, grabs out its short sword. +7. These guys can't hit right now. What's going on? Goes directly towards Tolwyn, misses. With its offhanded attack, it will grab its other shorts. No, it technically can't do that with a short sword. So, that's its turn. Cerberus.
I'll take my sword and my shield and I'll just stab into the building and pull myself up.
That sounds like you're putting a lot of strength into your blade. Go ahead and roll athletics. Yeah. Basically jabbing a blade into the wall. You use it as a pivot point and just spring forwards and land next to him. I'm gonna assume you land to the right of him. Otherwise, you'd be pushing Talon further on the roof.
That's magical.
Hey, Talon, are you going to come up?
Talen's already up. He's the first one that got up to the roof.
Oh, I thought he was still down.
And by you, drew my well, sword's already drowning us. And I went and leapt up the damn fountain and flipped up out of the roof like a elf.
17 does hit.
Nice.
With springing your step and a quick longsword to the abdomen, you sink it in. You can tell you did a good amount of damage. It does not scream, it does not crawl. This entire time, the only sound you have heard from these creatures is whenever they move a joint or a structured ligament, you hear almost cracking, but no other sound. You draw your blade out and you can tell that there's no blood, no flesh, but maybe particles of bone. This creature almost looks like it's taking a step forwards, but doesn't do anything. Anything else, Cerberus?
Turnover.
All right. The creature in question looks towards you, looks towards Talon, and looks towards the enemies on the other side of the area. Huh. Yeah, it's technically at that point, so it would do this, but like with Tolwyn, I don't like to do this. Cerberus, Talon, no one else is around. Go ahead and roll for me a dexterity saving throw. If you pass, you take half. If you have something to negate that, then you take nothing. If you fail, you take the entire assault. Talon, you too. Okay. Cerberus, you stab into the creature, bring your blade back out. It takes a weird studded step forwards. With that amount of structured form, Talon, you can tell that something's about to happen. So you pivot your motion when something quite literally springs out. This creature goes quite literally into the abdomen where your slices have hit. Doesn't make a sound, but you hear more bones cracking, and at that point in time, bones just jettison out directly all around its body. You guys, Talon, you take half, but you do sustain 3d8 plus 5 points of piercing damage. If you can reduce that, reduce it. As this creature then hits the ground and then falls down quite literally to the ground dead.
Some damage?
26. Talon, you saved. Cerberus, unfortunately, you did not. Half of that would be... I'll round it up. 13. Oh, wait, it would be 13 regardless.
Oh, round up.
The math is off.
Well, that took away all my temp HP.
There was no temp HP.
I had temp HP because of heroism.
Remember that. Too bad you didn't. You can do that now. But oh well, you healed
How
me
much
for 8.
temp
which
did you
kept me alive.
have?
I had 14.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
You know you can only have one source of temporary HP, right?
Yeah, that all came from heroism.
You got 14 from heroism.
I had several turns when they couldn't hit me.
I know, but each round doesn't stack. It just stays for that round. They don't stack.
I thought it. Yeah, it kept. I'm pretty
No.
sure the way it sounds that it stacks from the
Sounds
same
like it.
source.
No, it's level 1
no.
skill, man.
Like, if it goes down, it'll bring it back up, but it doesn't stack on. Like,
Yeah.
say you got hit for 2 HP at a total of 5. It'll go down to 3. The next round, if heroism gives you 5 more HP at the beginning of the start, it'll be 5
you're back at
max.
5.
You wouldn't stack the additional 3.
All right, then I was wrong about how that worked, but that's fine. That means I should have 3 then, so 13, 12, 11 more damage then.
I mean, it'd be cool, but that'd be broken.
That's just how I always thought that it worked based upon the wording.
Yeah, I get it. It's just temp HP specifically. If you don't know the exact wording of both, it will get confusing. But unfortunately, that guy died. Reese takes over, goes directly towards him with a giant battle axe, swings down, plus 8. Misses completely. Tolwyn, I don't even want to describe what she did.
I mean, you know. Okay, so I'm up on the roof now.
You're on the roof now, being attacked, but
Okay.
luckily enough, I am failing to attack you.
Right. Okay. I am going to use a bonus action for Shillelagh? Shillelagh? However you say that. And I'm a smack. With only a 10 to hit. Wow, there you go.
Grabbing your quarterstaff, you know you might need a 15 to hit, because you guys have already hit with the 15, and swing the hammer straight towards him. But you remember, oh yeah, this is a quarterstaff, so you bring it closer to your body, but with that swing, you fall short. Looking at you, the creature does not make a sound, does not take a hint, and unfortunately does not take damage. Anything else?
Alright. I'm just going to move here so I'm not standing directly on the edge.
That is fair. Dalen.
Stay away from them when they kill them. Tolwyn, get away from it. It blew up or whatever on me. I see my friend struggling to hit it. I don't think I'm gonna do very much damage from far away here. They do look pretty dexterous though. I'll just shoot it, I guess. I'll just shoot it. Shoot it with my bow. Oh no. Magic missiles. Die. Roll high, baby. Roll high. Nice. So that's 12 damage onto the one Tolwyn's on.
So you shoot through the same source. Okay. Aiming straight towards the creature next to Tolwyn. This thing clearly is an issue. You bring out 3 bolts of magic missile. It jettisons straight through and attacks true and true, as often as not it does. The missiles jettison from your person and attack this creature. They burst, hit the body, and like before, make no sound. But like before, take that weird, almost jolted step forwards, but do not do anything else. Anything else, Talon? I will take that silence as a no. Oh, he's talking in the background. The creature, looking around, who would possibly be the potential threat? It doesn't seem like Kythal has been more or less not attacked, and neither has Reese. I'm gonna roll for it. Evens odds. Unfortunately, it is Kythal. With its bow, it aims straight towards you. It shoots out that weird bone-like structure. +7, that'd be 25. I assume that hits.
Yes, that does hit.
Unfortunately, it does sink in true and true, but thankfully enough, only for 8 points of damage.
I'll take that.
It's not bad, but it still hurts. But getting less, being attacked less is definitely a bonus. In the meantime, Kythal, it is your turn.
All right. That was the one next to Reese that just shot me?
Yes.
All right. So, coming to there, I will fire back.
Fair enough.
If I can get to work. There's my mouth.
Aiming straight for the creature, you bring out your hand, I was about to call it hand expo, because it's technically written that way.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. It's also technically a cross. You're not incorrect. With your hand crossbow, you shoot straight and you shoot true. It bursts into their flesh bone, whatever you want to call it, sinks in, but they do not go down. You saw Tolwyn's take a step forwards, a jolted step, but not a true step. This one did not.
Okay.
Take that however you will.
Okay. I do not have a bonus action. Got my dog, and nothing's on the ground, so I'm just gonna move the dog over this way. Whoops, nope. I guess. I can't move the dog. Can you move him right over there?
Yeah, that's weird though. Why can't you move the dog? Yeah. You should have control now. I don't know why you didn't have it before.
Oh, yep, I got it. Okay, cool.
See if you can get some
I'm
cover
moving
from
back.
the guy. See if you can get some cover from that guy shooting the bow.
Man. Kaithal, roll dex save. I feel like I'm
Oh,
targeting you.
that's all right.
No, not you, Kaithal.
I'm handsome.
Tolwyn, sorry, my bad.
Oh, Colin, never mind. Oh, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
Thankfully enough, you're too far away, but Tolwyn is not.
It's a reflex save.
Dex save. That's
Dex
Pathfinder
save.
you're thinking of.
That's right. I play too much Pathfinder and Starfinder. Dex save. Rolled a 15.
You succeeded, but you still take half of 3d8 plus 5.
Cool.
Ugh, why am I rolling well for this one? It sinks in its hands into its abdomen, where you slashed, where you hit. Well, mainly where Kaithal and Talon have hit. Buries its hands, and you hear cracking, and then bones shoot out at a 5-foot radius around them. Thankfully enough, you're on the roof, so it doesn't hurt anyone else, but you're on the roof. So you take 27 points of damage, reduced to half, which is good, based on the number I see on your bar.
Yep. I'll take my 14 and stay conscious.
It then basically hits the ground, quite literally, down, and you hear more bones cracking, but thankfully enough, that's not attack. It just hit the ground dead. Cerberus.
I yell out to Reese to be careful of its kamikaze attack, and I'll take out my crossbow and shoot.
Alright. Unfortunately enough, 8 does not cut it, so when you bring out your bow, it shoots straight and true, but it shoots into the side where his leg would be, or her leg would be. Kinda hard to tell with these creatures. Anything else?
Turn over.
Alright. That one's dead. Reese's turn. Looking about, noticing you, brings out its... brings down the hammer. Plus 8. Oh, thankfully enough, she actually does hit. For 1d10 plus 4 points of damage. She brings down what appears to be a giant hand axe and slashes into it. It's technically not a hand axe, it's a battle axe, whatever. Semantics. Slashing in, you can tell that it does sustain a good amount of damage. Can't tell if this thing's bloodied, but like before, it takes that weird jolted step. Tolwyn.
Okay. I'm going to... There's no immediate threat to me, so I'm going to try and produce flame on this last guy before he can hurt somebody else.
Alright.
22.
22 does in fact hit.
1 fire damage. Ooh yeah.
Striking through and in front of you, you go and directly shoot an attack straight for them. It pierces in, well, as fire can pierce a body. It definitely does burn into the flesh and skin. It burns, it's bright, but it's not enough due to the angle and due to the range.
Mm-hmm. I'm rolling fantastically today, so...
Anything else?
I know that feeling.
No, I think I'll die if I jump down, so I'm just gonna stay where I am.
You'll only sustain 2d6. Like, unless if I roll really well, and I have to
Yeah,
roll like above what I could actually roll, you'd probably be fine.
Yeah. I think Tolwyn's good where he is for now,
Hang
anyway.
off like the edge and then go or something.
Tolwyn, you
Yeah.
can also
He'll be
do.
taken care of.
You can also like basically. You saw where the dead body landed. You could probably go over that area, hang down, and let yourself go and hit the dead body, and that only do like what 1d4 points of damage.
Sure, why not?
If you want to do an athletics or acrobatics check, you can also do that.
Okay. Well, I'll try acrobatics to take less damage.
Okay. The effect that I just described will still hold effect. It's just if you roll well, you won't take any damage. You take
Yeah.
1d4 points of damage.
Yep.
You take 1.
Cool. Oh.
Talon.
I was gonna see if I could just hop down like wherever, like the way I came, but I don't want to take any damage. I'm already hurt. Or I was gonna say, can I like hang off it, like just like slide and hang off the edge of the building and then like let it go, so just drop the last like a few feet to the ground.
The height would still do 1d6. If you like, you saw Tolwyn, like your passive perception's at least a 12 probably. You can come here and then just land on a dead body and you only take 1d4 points of damage. If you roll on acrobatics or dexterity, depending on how you do things, you would probably not take any if you succeed.
Also, I'll instruct I forgot I have my unseen servant, but I'll have my unseen servant, I'll like drop a couple of vials or whatever, and have my unseen servant like collect some samples of this
Is
thing.
Unseen Servant a concentration spell?
No. That's why I keep having it. It's just ritual, you can have it for an hour.
I'm pretty sure Unseen Servant was cast long before an hour ago.
I was gonna say it has been too long, but never mind then. I'll collect samples later. I'll just shoot this guy up here.
Luckily enough, your acrobatics check is well enough, so you cling on, push yourself off, step on the dead body, and move forwards.
With that.
Man, this is so unfair. With the pew pew aimed directly towards it.
Nope.
However, it just scrapes on one of the bone structures on the armor itself, and then just flings to the left. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Man, this is so unfortunate. I thought you guys were gonna do it too. So, the creature at hand, like before, reaches into its flesh and bone. As it can't take you down, it, like Severus said, will try to take you out. Thankfully enough, however, only 2 individuals are close enough to be dealt damage. However, one's technically on the ground, so they survive for now. I'll explain more on that later. Reese will have to make a dexterity save. Her dex isn't great. It's at least not as great as her strength. But she succeeds. And as long as I don't roll terribly well, she probably won't die. Oh, so close. You can tell Reese is on her very last legs. Barely standing, barely keeping up. Like you, she was fighting, but unlike you, she was fighting with not trained people. So she mainly had to try to keep them alive and in turn help. So when this creature barrels in with with bone, she's hurt, she's staggered, and she was weary. Likely won't be able to fight if there's another fight after this. But the creature wobbles about and goes towards the ground. I want, Kaithal, you to roll a dex save for your dog to get out of the way.
Alright. He's got his own dex up too.
Luckily enough, this is a distance thing, so when your hound looks up, it sees something moving forwards. So it moves. Like, it doesn't do the whole deer and blind lights. It sticks in one place. No, this is a although mechanical. This is a dog. Dogs are pretty smart, as so long as you train them well or program them well in your case. So they just move a little bit to the left, and the dead body just hits the ground and splinters the. Yeah, technically, it splinters the floor underneath it, which goes to show how strong their bones are. With that, however, looking around you, seeing the events that have happened, the creatures around don't seem to be near you anymore. If you had to guess, these were the last remnants of, or at least the last remnants you see and are in town. Which means you finally managed, well, whatever the dragon's doing, finally managed to get everything else out of the way. And you finally managed to stick down the stragglers to the ground and made sure they stayed on the ground. Although, I don't technically think that's true, as they kind of just blew themselves up. But you did a good amount of damage that they felt like they needed to. But
Some people did a good amount of damage.
yeah, that's true. Taylor and Cerberus and well, Tolwyn, you did one. Did pretty good amounts of damage. However, none of you were able to take the following blow. Cerberus, you hop down, hit the body, squish, hit the ground. You don't take any damage. However, since its combat is now over, you can like climb down safely. It's fine. Reese climbs down safely. It takes her like 2 minutes.
Reese, well, obviously you're not alright, but how are you holding out?
I'm alive, and I count for something. In the distance, she yells out at her subordinate. What's the total? The man far away that you can see him, but far away that you can't really get descriptives. I found 5. They're doing pretty bad, but we can help them. Alright. Look. If we didn't get your warning, a lot more people would have died rather than just the people trying to make sure people survived. So thank you for that. But, man, we really need more guards in town. Training them, too. But, thanks. Can't really give you a reward, but I can probably buy you a drink tonight if all this is over by tonight.
I'll definitely take you up on that drink. Ow.
Yeah, that's all the thanks I would appreciate.
Alright, I'm gonna go deal with the potential survivors. If you need me, I'll be... Yeah?
These two seem to have been connected to the event, and they seem to have a degree of... Well, they were sapient, and they have apparently a degree of understanding of what was going on. They were apparently looking for something. Do you think... Is there anyone... Well, I suppose there's no one in town who might know how. But should we perhaps hold these bodies separate from the others in case they can be used to identify something? Or should we just go ahead and burn them?
Probably burning them is the best idea. No one in town can cast, like, high-level magic, so getting them back in shape would be impossible right now. There's, like, no one in town other than the mayor that can cast magic. There are some people in town that can imbue it, but for the thing you're talking about, there's no one. Getting rid of them is better. Preferable, really.
When I meant by identify, I meant, like, visual identification, like someone who has knowledge of their past events or something, is what I was thinking of, DM.
I understand that. It's just these people are complete strangers to them. She would not think in this line of thought, so it would make no sense.
Alright, very well then. What would you like us to do to help out?
Look around, see if there's any stragglers. If there's someone alive, great. But honestly, I don't think there is anyone. And the creatures, they seem to have run to the west to the north. So if you hear anything, shout out. I don't know. Honestly, you probably know more than I do. I was just assigned here by the king to at least for them to have someone here that could fight. So honestly, you're more inclined than I am to come up with a plan. If you need my help, you know where I'll be.
Good job, Reese, as I yell out to her as she walks away.
She waves. Very, very hurt.
Alright guys, what should we do next? Look around?
I'm going to go and see if I can help anyone who might not otherwise survive. Tolwyn's got 5 spell slots left, so he'll just run around, and anybody like on the brink of dying or whatever, he'll throw a healing word at them.
As for
Go ahead.
As for me, I will do medicine checks as I look around trying to help anyone that I can.
Well, there were 15 people that were stragglers. 5 of them were the town guards. And others were civilians. These 5 managed to survive. 2 of them are the point of near death, and 3 of them are close to death but still pressing forwards. Reese is bandaging him up along with her assistant, but she is a fighter, not a... I was about to say not a magician. Well, she's technically not that either. Not a doctor.
Healer?
Healer, yeah, true. Oops, he didn't die.
Well, let's get to work, Tolwyn.
Like I said, 2 are quite literally at the brink of death, and 3 are getting closer.
I'll try doing what I can to help.
Alright, if you don't want to expend magic, which is fine,
I don't have any.
you can do medicine checks to help out.
Tolwyn will just use his magic. He's got healing word and cure wounds, so.
Alright,
Kyathal also has cure wounds.
yeah. Well, with the team's help, Tolwyn, Kaithal, Cerberus, and Talon, you probably just stand there, because you didn't say anything. Begin to heal these people. Tolwyn and Kaithal, you target specifically, so each of you mark off 1 use of magic, the 2 in the most critical condition. Cerberus, thankfully enough, with your help, Reese is able to stabilize them, but really, you did most of the job. Again, fighter, not a healer. So you bandage them up, stabilize them. They are down, but they are not out. But they're not waking up anytime soon until a long rest passes. She then looks towards you, her lieutenant, air quotes, intern. Once again, I have to thank you. Unfortunately, the other 10 did not survive. Most of them are cut in half, and the other ones that are not, well, bits and pieces of them are missing.
Yeah, that was intense, to say the least.
Yeah, this town's never had to deal with this, which is why they only sent 1 guard in to train some of the townsfolk that volunteer. So honestly, again, your warning, I don't know how you knew, but your warning definitely helped. The mayor made sure to know, or to tell the folks in town, that you guys were the ones that gave him all this information.
Hey, Tolwyn, what was the guy's name again? The one who warned us?
Oh, it was...
Are you looking for the church guy or the other guy?
Oh, Ions was the church guy. Was it Esther?
Kate?
It's Kate.
Kate, that's right, yeah.
Kate, from the observatory, and his friend. They were the ones who warned us and asked us to come here.
Well, then I should probably send someone word to them. Give them thanks, but the messenger won't be... Well, we're gonna keep the town closed for a bit. Right now, most of the town are in small little caves we found a few hours ago before everyone was evacuated. So they're gonna spend the night, and any stragglers, if we find anyone, will be cut down so no one is in danger.
The
Yes.
can I look up? Does it look like the dragon slash carpet has come back?
You can tell that the storm has been moved far enough away that you don't see them currently. But that doesn't mean they won't return, it just means you don't see them.
All right, Reese. A warning I thought I'd give you. Inside the statue, there was this. Well, I'll give you several things. Inside this. Oh, hold on. What do I know about the king, damn? And their the people who work with him.
The king or the mayor?
The king is one who sent Reese to here, right?
Yes.
Then I'd like to know about that relationship.
The relationship is a standard sort. If the king feels that this town might need a protectionary measure, they will send someone out to make sure that the town is safe or can be trained. However, if it's a town that has been safe, not really a danger or a threat, he'll send out an envoy to make sure that everything more or less is peaceful. This is the case for Reese. She got sent out to a peaceful city to make sure that the peace remains. To train anyone in town that would like to do the same thing and be paid by the governing crown to continue on after she leaves. Sometimes you hear this happening from time to time. It's more than one person normally. So this town was clearly very, very safe until quite literally today. That being the case, though, the king is generally a kind person, but strict. And while he does follow the rules, he bends it for those in need.
Reese, some information for you. It appears in the statue here that helps guard the town that there was a cloud dragon egg in it, and it apparently used the carpet that the mayor had to lift what was inside the storm. I managed to catch a small glimpse, and it looked like this giant blue sphere-like thing. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I know it was in there, and I believe the dragon targeted it in order to move the storm away. So if you either see the dragon or the carpet, don't attack them, just give them a wide berth. We don't really know what they're going to do after dealing with the storm. But I thought I'd tell you that just in case.
While you're talking, she's also patching herself up. But she does state, alright, I'll keep note of that. Honestly, the only thing I can do right now is protect. I'm not exactly itching for a fight right now. So granted. Man, this is gonna be a lot of paperwork. I have to make sure other people come into town to safeguard it. Oh man.
Are there anything like wheelbarrows or carts with wheels?
Yeah. There are a few places here and there. There's quite literally a cart right behind Reese that she's currently leaning on. But when you looked at the structured form of what's inside the storm, Cerberus, it had the almost similar structure, but not same shape. So it was different, but the same more or less as the shell structure of the egg.
Alright, then if I can't find anyone else to help, then I'd like to look where the statue was and get any remains of that egg that might be there.
There are no remains of the egg remaining. There might be some particle dust, but nothing to the visible eye. There are pieces of the statue that Tolwyn technically broke. You can take.
Someone already has some pieces of that, but I wanted pieces of the egg.
The egg did hatch in a bright, brimming light. You look around where the area it was, there is nothing currently there.
Alright.
After hearing Severus say this, Tolwyn's going to ask him, so the thing you saw, did it look like a larger egg or something like that? Like, do you think that perhaps this could be other dragon eggs that have been touched by Scarlet?
It didn't look like an egg. It looked like the physical form, what's the word? The texture looked similar to an egg, to the egg that we saw, but it wasn't egg shaped.
Thinking back on it, the egg itself wasn't technically an egg, but a structured casing to protect what was housed inside until the time needed arrived. In the dragon's case, it was shaped as an egg to make sure that the body itself was not crushed.
Yeah, all of that. So it was probably technically not an egg, just the shape was egg-like or spherical.
These storms definitely seem to be linked to whatever this Scarlet is, but
There does appear to be a link.
Uh,
the color of the lightning notwithstanding.
Potentially. That being said, you guys look around town.
Yes.
I would like to use the carts to take any supplies, put them on it, and take any people that I can find and put them on it, and help take them to the cave.
All right. People looking around can go ahead and roll investigation. People that are helping, you just help. There's like nothing impeding you.
I want to get some samples of like the bodies of the people that were, like everything that was killed. I want to take like samples of it so I could study it later. And if I have the time, I will take, see if there's a little fire around somewhere, a brazier. Take 10 minutes and resummon my familiar as well.
Yeah. Like when they were speaking, you were just casting your magic and your familiar's back. Hooray, hooray! The stabbing wasn't permanent. That being said, do you have like vials to keep the samples as clean as possible, or are you just gonna grab
just like
pieces
a-
of
like
meat,
a science
bones,
kit.
or whatever, and put them in your
Yeah.
bag?
Taking they're like vials, like an alchemy kit, or something like that.
Do you have an alchemy kit?
Yeah.
Cool. Then you probably have like 5 empty vials.
Okay.
So do you take a sample of the piranha dogs, a sample of the female, a sample of the
I take a
male?
sample of everything.
Of everything
yeah.
you killed, or of everything
Yeah.
that is different?
Everything is different. Like one of everything. Like
Okay.
make sure I get a little more.
You take a vial of the red-haired woman. You take a vial of the strange tiefling man. You take a vial of the piranha dog thing. You take a vial of that strange vegetation creature that attacked you, and you take a vial. Well, you take a sliver of bone from, because there's quite literally no genetic. Well, not that you can see. Flesh on it. So you take whatever it's built out of, and you put it in vials, cork them, and put them in your bag for later. You no longer have any empty vials. But overall, you are able to get those samples. Go ahead and roll a medicine check. See how cleanly you did it. I mean, you did it. How sterile the environment is, probably not the best, but you do have the samples. There might be other things on it, but the sample itself is clean enough. It doesn't have any... Some of them don't have blood being dripped out, so nothing gets changed. You might have some dirt or dust on some of them, but overall, a sample's a sample, and you have what you need.
Okay.
Kaithar, are you doing anything?
I was looking around for. Actually, I don't even know what I was doing. I was just kind of standing there.
I did say if anyone's looking around, go ahead and roll investigation, and you did. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's what you did it for.
Yes, it's what I did.
Okay. Well, Chilling collects samples. Cerberus goes and helps people. Which is ironic because when I mentioned people died, it was, oh well. But with a natural 20, you can tell and affirm that no one else is currently around. No one had survived, and you join Tolwyn on his trek to see if there's anyone else that is in town. And with a natural 20, you do find someone that was missed, someone that is just barely on their last legs, on the ground, bleeding out.
I'll cast Cure Wounds on her.
As you do so, she presents her hand forwards and a almost stop-like motion.
I can help you.
No.
Do I get the sense that she wants to die?
It's not the sense that she wants to die, it's just a better alternative. You saw what happened to the other two. The way they acted, the strange, similar sensation that you felt from her, it was more finite in them. It's possible that they wore the mask so that strange presence about them was not felt. Probably due to not being able to control it. But you can tell that this woman, the woman you've been helping the woman that's trying to save the city and that you helped, well, she basically wants to go on her own terms. If she survives and if she thrives, well, you saw the man and you saw the woman. She will become something like them, if not worse. She will basically lose her entire self. And she will basically die. In the current form she is now, she's injured, she's withered, but she is herself. But in the current state that she is now, she will die. No alternative is a good one. But these are the ones you can clearly tell she is faced with. Cerberus, you're not there, you're helping people.
Oh, I thought I was with them helping and stuff.
No,
I
you
thought
said
that
you
was-
wanted to help wheelbarrow people. That takes time, man.
I thought that me, Tolwyn, and Kaithal were kind of all doing that together with the investigation check.
I mean, we can say you are, but you specifically stated you are helping getting a wheelbarrow, putting people in, and carting them back and forth.
All right, never mind. Continue then.
Okay.
Tolwyn will turn to Kaithal and say, sometimes if a plant or an animal has an infection, it needs to be removed. And in this case, I believe our friend here is willing to take that risk. And I believe we owe it to her.
To make it quick for her?
Well, I think I'll look down at her and, like, does she seem opposed to that? Or, like, just kind of wants to see what happens, or what?
You look at her, observing the way she moves, the way she acts, you can tell that it's really hard to tell. Other than the connection you have with nature, you specifically are kind of the only one that understands her a little bit better than anyone else. And thankfully enough, thanks to Cerberus, everyone else can also understand her. Well, to the degree that you can. When you look at her, see the emotions that she's carrying, see the feelings that she has, she is willing to go away, but to go away as she is, rather than what she will become. She, however, doesn't look like she's in pain. It's possible that she's in shock, and she'll simply go into the mist, as if going to sleep. The moment... Go ahead and roll medicine.
Okay.
Both of you can.
Well,
Tolwyn, you can easily tell. Kaithal, you're not sure if just
No
stabbing
idea.
her through the heart would be preferable. But Tolwyn, you can tell that her body is numb. She feels no pain. If she, get stabbed or get slashed, that will probably cause her pain. But right now, she's going down on her own terms.
All right. Tolan will just like sit beside her and thank her, and just let her not be alone, maybe for as herself for probably the first time in a long time, and just make sure she knows that it's appreciated, what her sacrifice is appreciated.
She begins to hum this strange sound. As you stick around, you hear a melody being played out. The song is peaceful, the song is kind. It is probably the closest thing she has to what she was before. You didn't know her before, you didn't know who this person was, who they stand for, what they stood for. But the moment you met them, they stood for at least one thing. They stood with the city, they stood with the people. And with this song, you know and understand that one thing for sure is true about this person. That they are true and kind. And if they were to turn, well, the world would lose something, would lose a spark, would definitely see a darker side to things. So with the passing moments and a final farewell, she does go and slip into sleep. Weird phrasing. And then finally just rests, takes a breath in, takes a breath out, but you see no more motion as she slips away.
Tolan will just sort of perform sort of like basic rites that he learned with the druids, like kind of dedicating her body back to nature, from whence it came, and yeah, I guess he'll just leave it up to Kaithal, if he's still there, as to whether or not he wants to like investigate the body or whatever. But Tolwyn's done with her.
Kaithal, what's your passive perception?
My passive is, let me scroll down, 12.
As you see your companion, your friend, performing last rites, making sure that her body is one with the earth once more, or at least her soul is back in place, you see that her hand is no longer clenched. Maybe you thought it was pain, maybe you thought it was something else, but with the release of her hand, you do see a small little scrap of paper just crumpled up in there.
I will bend down and pick up the paper only, not disturbing the rest of her.
You manage to grab the piece of paper and unfurl it. It was crumbled as if they were trying to protect it as much as possible, trying to keep it true and true, maybe to message or to give it to someone, but in the current state was not sure. When you look at it now, you can tell that this was meant for someone, and well, she has no one here. As mentioned with Cerberus, she knows no one here. So in that moment in time, you realize, while she did not know anyone else, she did know you. She did know your team. So this was meant for you. This is not an action against nature itself. This is simply a message that finally got delivered. So when you unfurl it, you can tell that there are 6 key points on this crumpled piece of paper, as if a symbol being written out but not quite complete. 6 points in tow. Let's see if I can't draw it really quick, but I don't have the art asset for it right now. But basically, on that crumpled piece of paper, there are 6 points. It's supposed to be a circle. In that circled point, there are lines going adjacent to each point that follows. And in one of those lines, one of those points, you do see something circled. Whatever that circle means, you're not exactly sure, but go ahead, Kythel and Tolwyn, since you're also there, likely keeping an eye on Kythel. Go ahead and roll insight. Keeping an eye on things, looking around, and observing what's currently in tow, you look at this crumpled piece of paper, that strange point structure, and that circle around one of those points. If you had to guess, this might... Tolwyn, it's kind of hard to tell. But Kythel, this might be a crude way of drawing a map. The circle likely indicates where you're currently at, but the other points... Well, the other points are kind of hard to tell. You might maybe get a map of your kingdom. Wait, you don't live here. You might want to get a map of the kingdom, and perhaps with that insightful thought, overlap the two.
Okay, I will point this out to Bolwyn, and I believe we should get back to the others and decide on next move.
Absolutely.
I believe this is just getting started, my friend.
Absolutely. If there were ever signs from the gods on what they intended for us to do, this is the most obvious one I've ever seen.
It looks like maybe they have drawn us a map, sir.
Yeah, that'd be a first. I'll take it.
I will too. Let's go and figure out what we do next.
Kythel and Tolwyn, go ahead and roll for me an intelligence save. No, wait, sorry, it'd be wisdom. It'd be wisdom.
What are we doing?
Wisdom saves, disadvantage.
Oh, wisdom.
Disadvantage?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm
8.
not very wise.
Alright.
Good for you too.
Well, as you begin to look around, talk with each other, move about, speak about what lies ahead, you move forwards, give your final farewells to, well, not a friend, but at least someone that lived their lives to the best that they could, and you rejoin the group.
Real quick, before I go, I know it doesn't mean anything for her at this point because she's dead, but as an artificer, I can infuse a tiny object with a visual or auditory sound.
Mm-hmm.
So the song that she was humming or singing, I infuse a copper piece with that, and I lay it down next to her, and it's just playing the song that she hummed as she passed. And then we'll go.
Oh, you bastard. Tolwyn and Kythel, go ahead and roll for me an intelligence save. No disadvantage this time.
Intelligence save.
I just don't want to completely give this to you.
Hey!
It makes sense that Kythel catches this, but Tolwyn, not. So, with a coin in hand and the song being played, drawn out by the final phrases of what she could muster, you place it by her side and let it play out. Eventually it'll break, but in the moment it lets her live the life she had. While Tolwyn gave her the end that she desired, you allowed her life to continue on, regardless if she's here or not. With these two things in tow, you then find a chill up your spines. You're not sure what that was, but you begin to move forward. Begin to go and relay with your team. However, Kythel, at the corner of your eye, you can tell that something shifts in the air. You look back, and behind you, you do see someone in a almost silhouetted mist. It is like a ghost, but not exactly one in tow. It is more like a spirit. The spirit itself is dressed like the woman, however, she no longer has the veil or mask. Looking about her, you can tell that it's an elven woman of high prestige and beauty. The strange flaming hair comes out, and it almost jettisons into a pure blue flame. She looks towards you and simply mouths thank you as she simply goes into the mist and washes away.
I bow my head slightly, put my hand on Tolwyn's shoulder. Come on, friend. Let's go.
Yes, more work to do.
In the meantime, Tolwyn, for some reason, when Kaithal looked back, you saw him look back. It's like not that hard to see. But your presence of mind, or at least your own intellectual thoughts, stated, no, I don't need to turn back, but what if he's found something? No, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
And then Kaithal said that. All
Works
right.
for me.
You then come back and tell.
We have done well.
Yes. Also, Kaithal, you probably believe that spirit did something to you and Tolwyn. You just don't exactly know what it was. You do know now that it's not a bad thing. You just don't know what it is.
Gotcha.
So Kaithal and Tolwyn, on your sheet somewhere, go ahead and write the Blessing of the Mist.
Ah, Towan, Kaithal, you're back. Everything well?
Things are well now.
Give a nod. Well, everyone that I could find and resources that I could get have been loaded up. I'll just need some help dragging them to the caves.
Absolutely.
I can help with that.
I'm gonna say, while you guys are talking, Talon is grabbing most of the monsters' dead bodies and putting them in a pitch fire. It would make sense.
Has the
Imagine
dragon
you
come
enjoying
back?
I was just seeing what you guys are doing. What was that? Someone else spoke, but
Has the dragon come back?
I was gonna answer that in a bit, but someone else spoke after you.
Oh no, I was just Joe. I said Talon's probably enjoying throwing bodies.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, they were very, very corrupted. But besides that,
Talon's pretty pissed. He almost died.
yeah, that's fair. But as you take your turns and move your motions, you have everything set. Everything's ready to go. And when that happens, where most of the team is here, you do see something in the horizon coming forwards. You can tell that it's not Well, you can tell it's not dangerous to you. The creature comes forwards, lands in front of the pitch fire, and simply roars out a bellowous roar. Who is 30 feet close? Oh, like everyone. With a loud roar of a cloud storm, a thunderstorm, you feel a presence surround your entire form. While the fire burns behind you, Talon, Cerberus, Tolwyn, Kaithal, Reese, technically Reese's assistant, all get healed for 10 HP. And the dragon then begins to move towards the fire. You do not see the rug. Don't see the rug.
Oh well. Now I'm a little confused. What was the purpose of the rug? I mean, well, I guess it doesn't matter.
You can ask. Or, well, Tolwyn can ask.
I am a little confused because based upon how the myth goes, this creature had to have saved the town multiple times. So what was the purpose of the rug?
You can ask.
Hey Tolwyn, would you like to talk to it?
Yeah, Tolwyn will move up, sort of a respectful distance, because it is still a dragon. and ask it, were you successful? I see you've returned without the carpet. Is that good or bad?
It presents its wing like towards you, and then furls it back together, likely to indicate you are more than welcome to step forwards or stand closer. Uh, Bodies are now engulfed in fire. The dragon then states, in Draconic, so if anyone speaks it, you would understand it. But in its own language, it talks naturally, so Tolwyn understands regardless. It then states, the one purpose, the desire that I have been given, granted by my forefather. It has been delayed.
That is unfortunate. Can we assist you in some way?
I was able to draw it out, move the storm by using the tools that they provided me to this day. That way, the town that it called home would survive, and its friend would also, and his friend's people would also thrive in turn. Tolwyn, you can go, or anyone else that speaks Draconic can go ahead and roll insight by that.
Yeah,
Unless you want to ask, what do you mean by that? Which you can.
insight first, but
By the way it's speaking, you can tell that this dragon was given an assignment by someone else. When it mentioned forefathers, it likely meant its father, or the one that created it, crafted it, or gave it life. It's a cloud dragon. It was probably birthed, so probably its dad or mother. Talon, same thing. So when it says that, this dragon is the descendant of the true guardian, but due to the fact that it needs way more time to actually cultivate its form, its structure, and its strength, it didn't have that. The guardian beforehand knew what was going to happen, or at least knew that the town needed protection, but it wasn't going to survive that long. If you had to guess, this current dragon was a safety measure to make sure that it survived long enough to thrive. The energy provided by the town of its worship likely fed the dragon while it was in the weird protective shell, but it also continued to grow. If you had to guess, it was far smaller than it is now, and while in the shell, it would continue to grow, but clearly not enough to actually take it down with its current strength. So when it mentioned the tools that had been provided, it's speaking about the rug itself. The rug was a secondary measure in order to provide strength against this feature, to delay the inevitable, but to also buy time for the dragon to grow stronger in as much time as it's possible for it.
Does it know anything about what's inside these storms?
You can ask, Tolwyn explains, and then in turn it states. And that's how we're going to do it if you want to ask any questions.
Mhm.
Inside the storms are varying and true. My forefather had stated, in the storms, that were the last-ditch effort to plague a world, or to save a world. But over time, they grew in nature and strength. Over time, they connected with the very hearts of the beings that reside within it. In turn, the items infused by the very heart of the storm changed. And over time, some were changed, either by necessity or by artificial means. Some are bladed weapons, others are the heart of beasts, and even still some are things I do not know. In the case in point of the one that my forefather had taken down, It was almost a very. It was the corpse of a fallen angel. Not one that fell from grace, but one that died. The very core of its body needed to be gotten rid of, or else it would plague the world in its own unjust way. My forefather knew that help needed to be provided in the future, but did not know when. So I was chosen to stay in isolation until that time came. So if you ask if I know which storm has what, over time they change, or over time someone changes them. And I have, according to my forefather at least, but I do not know if this is true or not. And if this is true, it would take a very powerful source to do so.
Were you able to see what was at the heart of the storm that just attacked here?
It was a very large shell, similar to the one that I was encased in to protect my form, which means it's something inside to protect it. I used the carpet itself to move the mass and to move the storm. With that, however, the storm eventually corroded the rug away. So if you ask what's inside, I'm afraid you'd need to break the shell and find out. But until I grow strong enough to do so, I don't intend to simply die.
Well, you may not have been able to destroy the storm, but you were able to push it away from the town and saved it.
It nods. It's a dragon, so it does take the compliment, regardless. But it nods, and then it states, "And you managed to save as many lives as possible. Well, I do not know if you bear the same blood as my forefather's companion. I can at least know that you yourselves hold value upon yourselves. So in that regard, I will give you my name. It is one that you should hold dear, and not one you should spread out, or if those that know it will seek it out. I go by Solvanis. It's just how you spell it. Oh, oops. That's the wrong thing. Sort of. It's spelled like this.
Cloud Dragon from Reeve. Keep name secret. Tolan will definitely give a deep bow and say thank you for trusting us with your name. I am Tolwyn.
It nods. And in turn, it looks towards the rest of you. Now then, it seems that we are not completely connected. So, as you have been deemed capable, I will make sure that you can understand things to come. And like the roar, but this time a mist, the mist jettisons out from its mouth and begins to waft in the air. After a small amount of time, it does eventually waft away. Tolwyn, Cerberus, Kythal, Talon. Is Reese close enough? I'm wondering. Oh yeah, generally so is her lieutenant. Reese and the lieutenant all feel the mist about you. You can tell that something is happening to you. You feel almost reverberal roar within your own throat. a strange sensation that doesn't hold true to the normal you. And with that, we end our session. With that, you have just been given and granted the language of the dragons, the language of Draconic, a blessing given by Sylvanas, and one that will help you out, according to him, on your journey ahead, as we end the session for today.